So this Raw wasn't great. There were rush turns, goofy decisions, and stuff that just didn't make no damn sense. However, it finally felt like a show with a pulse. I pretty much thought it was a good episode, even if the Fed made it harder than it needed to be. The Raw after WrestleMania is supposed to feel like a reset. New stories, prize appearances, pretty much giving us that sense that anything can happen. But the last few years, totally lifeless. So when this one actually showed movement, even if it was messy, it actually stood out. Let's break this down. So Randy Orton RKO'd John Cena. So this is one of the more talked about things that happened on the show. And even though some fans were sour on it, it might be the first time Cena's heel turn actually feel like he's being a heel. Cause let's be real, Cody didn't really work as his babyface foil. But Orton is someone fans genuinely like right now. Keywords right now. So Cena and Orton feuding might finally shift the perception that Cena's not playing a bad guy, but he's actually a bad guy. Now with that being said, Orton and Cena shouldn't be happening at a B show. If it was up to me, this would have happened at WrestleMania. Obviously we can't do that now. Or be Cena's last match. But possibly on Backlash? Woof. So Bron Breakker has a line with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. As far as the segment, I thought this was pretty good. I thought it was pretty intriguing. Now Bron Breakker doesn't fully feel ready to share the space with guys like Punk, Roman Reigns, or even Seth Rollins. But pairing him with Paul Heyman might be that shortcut. So if WWE plays this right, this modern dangerous alliance could be something fresh. Even if it's Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman together, that still looks so ridiculous. So Gunther actually choked out the punter. I thought this segment was great. And no, not because I thought the punter getting choked out is awesome. I thought the segment overall was great. Gunther looked very unhinged. And I thought this was a good start to come and redeeming himself after tapping out of all things. But with that said, please don't do Gunther and the punter in a match. They're most likely going to do this. I just hope there is a God that won't allow this. Jey Uso has his Yeet celebration. So I thought this added a lot to Jey's title win. It didn't feel like another promo. It pretty much felt like validation. And the crowd was behind him. And the chemistry with Jimmy and Sammy did hit. So even if you or me have some questions about Jey Uso's title reign, at least this segment gave it weight. So the Judgment Day actually won back the tag team titles a day later. So let's get this out the way first. The match, way better. That was much smoother, more energy, and it's actually had some rhythm this time. But that title change, bro, why? Why? For what reason? What was the point of them losing the previous night? As I've said for years now, throw those belts in the trash. They're useless. Absolutely useless. Oh, but it gets better because Becky Lynch turned heel. Bro, this is so stupid. This is straight up nonsense. There is absolutely no build or anything to make this even worth a damn. It's almost if they did a heel turn just for the sake of a Raw after Mania shock value thing. Does anybody even care about this? No, like, seriously, does anybody care? I don't see how people do. So Rusev returned and he beat up American Alpha. So this return I thought was pretty safe and it did get a good pop. But for me, it didn't quite hit hard enough. And with how bloated this roster is, it's kind of hard to see where Rusev fits. I mean, for his return, he beat up the Alpha Academy for Christ's sake. But we'll see what happens. Dominic Mysterio retained his Intercontinental Championship against Penta. So can we be real for a minute? Bro, it's April. So I think it's fair to say this right now. Penta is just another guy on the roster. That's where we are. Accept this for what it is. I mean, does Penta stand out at this point? What has Penta done the past 4 months that makes him stand out at this point? And did Penta really had to take the pin? You couldn't get somebody else in this spot. Anybody. I mean, the match just felt like a formality at that point. But I guess we're going to hear the wait and see what happens camp. Yeah. We had Io Sky and Stephanie Valkyrie in a match. And then we had Roxanne, Julia, and Rhea Ripley getting in the mix. So Stephanie Vaquer actually challenging Io Sky I thought was pretty cool. And the match I thought was solid. But unfortunately, this pretty much felt like a throwaway Raw after Mania cameo. Something that's not going to mean anything next week. And then Julia, I guess, turned heel now? And then Roxanne Perez. Bro, Roxanne is so stagnant right now. Is she going to get called up? And yes, I know. Even if she do get called up to the main roster, that's not going to matter anyway. So no, this wasn't some all-time great Raw. There are some messy decisions, rush stories, and some flat-out dumb booking. But for the first time in years, a post-Mania Raw actually had some energy. Segments did pop, characters moved, and the show did have some type of structure, even if it was clunky. So if somehow the Fed can clean up the nonsense and keep this momentum alive, they might actually be on the verge of turning Monday nights around. So what do you think? Did John Cena finally start clicking as a heel? Is Bron Breakker really ready for the main event spotlight? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this review, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share this video out with your friends. And for that, I'll see y'all later.